Asmada Acharya Paryantam Guru Paramparam Om. Continuing the Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshana, we are coming into a most fascinating part of the Bhagavad Gita. We are training ourselves to get that Divya Chakshu, to be able to see the whole world as God. A little later, at some time, we can have a little discussion. What is the difference between Vishishta Dvaita and Advaita Vedanta on the way we see the world as God? Lata, you are the opening speaker for today. Please start. Lata, are you ready? Yes.
Paschani adityan vasuna rudran asvinau marutasthatha bahuni adrista purvani paschascharani bharata. I am in Shloka Chata Adhyay 11. O best of Bharata, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all of their demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard before. Even though Arjuna was a personal friend of Krishna and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Krishna. Here it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known all of these forms and manifestations. Now Krishna reveals these wonderful forms. Continuing with this, I have taken out a verse from Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, Sri Ramanuja's commentary. Lord Krishna explains that within his Vishwarupa, or divine universal form, the 12 Adityas, the 8 Vasus, the 11 Rudras, the 2 Ashwins, the 49 Marutas, can all be seen. It can be perceived in his magnificent, extraordinarily phenomenal universal form, unlimited wonders and marvels. There are marvels that can be manifest in this world, marvels that can manifest in other worlds, and all these marvels mentioned and described in the Vedic scriptures, which may include some or all of the previous categories. All of these wonders have never before been seen. Here I like to narrate the experiences, Kailash Yastri's experience while they on their journey to Kailash Mansarovar. I'm sure all of you had witnessed some marvel or the other on your journey. My personal experiences of sailing on the high seas and flying over the Himalayas on a flight from New Delhi to the commercial capital of Kazakhstan, Almaty. I had the occasion of witnessing the Himalayas from 38,000 feet from the airplane, and it was just wonderful. Representative of the Supreme. And sailing across the high seas on a voyage from Scotland to the St. Lawrence Seaway. We were in dense fog on a 100,000-ton bulk carrier, and we picked up icebergs, up to about 200 icebergs, budgie bits. We couldn't pick up the growlers, but when the weather cleared, we saw the icebergs. And by taking vertical and horizontal sextant angle, we could estimate the weight of the icebergs. And this was another marvel of the Supreme. Hari Om, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Captain Guru. Your personal experience of Vishwarupa Ishvara.
Yes. Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Very clear. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Hari Om. In the previous chapter, Lord Krishna enumerated his glories both in Apara Prakriti and Para Prakriti. Finally, he said, I am in every aspect of creation. Now, a shift from the above concept. In this chapter, the Lord says, the whole creation is in me. This is a vision of cosmic form of the Lord, which he explains to Arjuna. He says, creation is a cosmic form of me, like the bubble which is a part of water in the ocean. The Lord is preparing Arjuna for a shift in vision from Ekarupa Darshana to Aneka Rupa Darshana, finally leading to Arupa Darshana, that is Nirguna Ishvara Upasana, which is beyond forms, time, and space. Blessed and backed by the intelligent cause, the material cause alone manifests as manifold effect by assuming various nama and rupa. So the Lord says, Ishvara and the world are not different. World is the very embodiment of me. This understanding is Vishwarupa. The first 8 verses in this chapter are introductory. Arjuna asks how he can get Vishwarupa Darshana. In reply, the Lord explains to Arjuna, I am not in creation, but the creation is in me. Just as saying, gold is not in ornaments, but all ornaments are nama rupa resting on gold. Lord's form itself is the universe. Swamiji explains, Ishvara Darshana is not going far off holy places, but an understanding and visualizing the world around us as Vishwarupa. This understanding and vision for Vishwarupa can happen only with a refined mind, which is free from raga and dvesha and a strong belief that nothing belongs to me. Swamiji gives an example of Shabari in Ramayana. She was able to see Rama because of her deep devotion and divine vision, whereas Ravana could not see Rama as a divine form because of dvesha. Impact was totally different. This is Laukika Chakshu. Arjuna had reverentially acquired all the teachings of Krishna right from chapter 2 to 9. He only needed a refined mind for Vishwarupa Darshana. So he seeks Lord's Vishwarupa Darshana and the Lord agrees. Coming to the verse. Ihai kastam jagat krishnam pasyadya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha echanya drishtum ichhasi. Ihai kastam, in me, jagat krishnam, the entire universe. Pashya adya, see the vastness of the universe. Characharam, movables and immovables. Mama dehe, in my body. Gudakesha, O Arjuna, also referred to as one who has conquered tamas. Ichha anya, also anything else. Drishtum ichhasi, see all that you desire. O Arjuna, see here and now, in my body, the entire universe with movables and immovables placed together, and also anything else that you desire to see. Krishnam Jagat Pashya, see the entire universe in my body. Here, the Lord's Shariram is referred to as space, Akasha, in which all beings exist, all the 14 lokas exist. Swamiji reminds us about the glory of baby Krishna, revealing his entire universe to his mother Yashoda when he opened his mouth. Yashoda was wonderstruck. Vastness of his Shariram, as sky, is illustrated in Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. Antastam yasya visham suranara khagago bhogi gandharva daityehi chitram rambyatetam tribhuvanavapusham Vishnu mesham namame. Swamiji refers this to as Akasha Shariram Brahma. Whole creation is Lord Sharira only. So ekastam krishnam jagat pashya, see my Vishwarupa in the universe. Characharam, his Vishwarupa is inclusive of all chara and achara, stavara, jangama elements. Lord says, all Tribhuvana, 3 lokas, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, are within him. This again is illustrated in Vishnu Sahasranama Dhyana Sloka. Bhupado yasya nabhirvi yada surarila chandra suryatra netre karnavashaha shirodhro mukha bapino dahano yasya vaso yamaddihe. Lord has 3 lokas as his body, earth as his feet, sky as his navel, wind as his breath, sun and moon his eyes, 10 directions his ears, heaven as his head, fire his face, ocean his abdomen. In him is situated the entire diverse forms of gods, men, birds, cattle, demons, and gandharvas, etc. The same views are expressed in Manduka Upanishad. Agni Murdha Chakshushi Chandra Surya Vishvaha Shotre Vagvivrittascha Vedaha Vayu Prano Hridayam Vishwamasya Padhyam Prativihesha Sarva Bhutantaratma. Finally, I would like to conclude with such a transformational attitude. You see the glory of Lord in every form of creation. There is no hatred, but respect and worship for every form of the Lord. Till now, Arjuna was asked to see the glory of Lord in every form of creation in the world. Now, with this holistic approach, he will see the Lord in every form of creation in the world, as is evident in the following verses. Hari Ho. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sukanya. Your presentation will help us to see Vishwarupa Ishvara in the world around us. Madam Rama, your time.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्. The meaning of the verse is, however, you cannot see me with your ordinary eye. I shall give you a divine eye. You can see my divine power and lordly glory. Here Krishna says Vishwarupa Darshanam is seeing the whole universe in one place and in a divine form. Objects which are seen are limited in nature and perceived by the mind and senses. God is something which cannot be objectified. To understand this cosmic being and its powers, Divya Chakshu is required. Chakshu means vision or drushti. With biological eye, one can only see the effect or karyam. Swami Param says, Karya Darshanam is Karana Darshanam. Lord Krishna applies this principle and points out that he is the material cause of this whole universe, both para and apara prakriti. Gold is called as gold in Karanavastha and as ornament in Karyavastha. Karanam is the potential form and Karyam is the manifest form of Nama and Rupa. Therefore, para prakriti yuktaha ishvaraha eva prapanchaha, that is, prapancha darshanam is no different from Ishvara darshanam. Developing this extraordinary vision that the world is an embodiment of Ishvara is Vishwarupa darshanam. The ability to view Ishvara in multiple forms in the universe is Divya Drushtihi. Many Puranas mention sages having Divya Drushti. Changing the mind from Sthula Drushti of an object to Sukshma Drushti is Divya Drushti. For example, during festivals like Navaratri, seeing the external decorations of the temple and the deity is Sthula Drushti, seeing the idol as God is Sukshma Drushti, realizing the higher Shakti behind the decorator's mind is Ati Sukshma Shakti. For this, mind has to grow spiritually. They say Sukshmatam Apaditam Manaha, meaning expansion of the mind. Swami Param explains the following steps to develop Sukshma Drushti to have Vishwarupa Darshanam. We are seeing the universe all the time. Develop Bhakti for Ishvara. Associate universe as the embodiment of the Lord. Appreciate Ishvara's creation and get connected with him. Realize Ishvara's invaluable gift with a new attitude to him. Swami Param also says, a mind free from ahankara and mamakara should see everything, including the body, as belonging to Ishvara. Shifting the attitude from Karya Buddhi to Karana Buddhi and seeing the Karanakarta behind everything, both at Vyashti and Samashti level, is Vishwarupa Darshanam. Hiranyakashipu, Ravana and Kamsa could not realize the Ishvara Tattva with their normal life because of Mamakara and Ahankara. Whereas Prahlada, Vibhishana and Akrura could see Ishvara Tattva because of Divya Drushti and a mind free from Kama Krodha. Once the change in attitude happens, you can see my Yogam, the power of Maya, and Aishwaram, the divine glory, through your experience. Sri Krishna says Arjuna's desire to see the universal form has not decreased. So to prepare him for the Vishwarupa Darshanam, Lord Krishna grants him Divya Chakshu to get the maturity of understanding the Karana Drushti rather than Karya Drushti. With Divya Chakshu, Sri Krishna diluted Ahankara, that is, I will be fighting, and Mamakara, I will be killing my own people, from Arjuna, and converted his vision from Jiva Srushti to Ishvara Srushti, or short-sighted Vyashti Drushti, to see the totality, that is Samashti Drushti. Hari Om sir, thank you.
Thank you, madam, for an excellent presentation as always on the present topic of Divya Chakshu, what it means to have Divya Chakshu, various examples from Puranic stories, and what are the sadhanas that we must do in order to be able to get it. Instead of Dr. Kannan, I think it is Dr. Sundar. Sundar, your time, please.
Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayamasa Parthaya Paramam Rupam Aishwaram. So in the previous verse, Krishna bestowed Divya Chakshuhu to Arjuna. And Swami Param says there is a process in which Krishna is bestowing this and Arjuna is receiving it. There is some transformation happening. And in the time where there is some silence, at this moment, Sanjaya intervenes because he gets an opportunity to speak. Tataha means thereafter. O Rajan, referring to Dhartarashtra, Evam Uktva Mahayogeshwara Harihi. So this is a reference to Krishna, who is being referred with the adjective Mahayogeshwaraha. So he is a great, great. Yogeshwara means with miraculous powers. He is a great person with miraculous powers because he is able to give Divya Chakshuhu to Arjuna, which is a purificatory process which usually for most of us takes a long time because it involves Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga. But in a very short span, Krishna is able to give it to Arjuna. Therefore, he is being referred to as Yogeshwaraha. Another adjective used by Sanjaya is Hari. Papam Harati iti Hari. That's what Swami Param says. So, Krishna is able to Hari or Harati, or he is able to withdraw or remove spiritual obstacles. And because of this, the name Hari. So he is verily Vishnu himself. Eva Muktva. So this refers to the verses which were spoken by Krishna in the previous verses. Having done that, Darshaya Masa Parthaya. Darshaya Masa is a verb. It means that Krishna is now revealing his Vishwarupa form. So Swami Param clarifies that by using this verb, we should not misunderstand that earlier to this, Vishwarupa didn't exist. And after this, some transformation is happening and physically some new Vishwarupa is appearing. What Swami Param clarifies is, what Vishwarupa was there earlier, the same Vishwarupa exists even now. But what the Divya Chakshu gives is, it adds a layer of perspective over perception. So the primary layer, perception, is what my sense organs feed into me. So that is Vishwa Darshanam, and that is secular. Divya Chakshuhu is an additional layer of perspective which is added over perception. And this additional layer of perspective has two components. One is intellectually appreciate that everything that I see around is a manifestation born out of Bhagavan. This is from the verses in 7th chapter where Krishna made us knowledgeable that everything was initially para and apara, and from apara initially there was a stage 8-staged setup, and finally in the final stage multifold universe came into being. So this is intellectual appreciation provided by the knowledge in the 7th chapter. To this we have to add an attitudinal change. So the first was a cognitive change. We have to add an additional attitudinal change which comprises of Chitta Shuddhi, Mala Nivritti. So this combination of spiritual knowledge given in the 7th chapter with Chitta Shuddhi results in a perspective change. So perception is Vishwa Rupa Darshanam, whereas perspective is Vishwa Rupa Ishvara Darshanam. Perception happens with Mama Chakshuhu, the anatomical eye, whereas perspective or Vishwa Rupa Ishvara Darshanam happens with Divya Chakshuhu. So Darshaya Masa, what was shown? Rupam, and that Rupam is being qualified with the adjectives Aishwaryam, Aishwaram, Ishwarasya Rupam, therefore Aishwaram. And this Rupam is also being called Paramam. Paramam previously referred Nirgunam. Here Paramam is not referring to Nirgunam. Paramam just means that this Rupam is all pervading. We still don't know the ends of these cosmos. So everywhere this Vishwarupa Ishvara is. Not just that, it is present always, and it is not mutually exclusive. Swami Param says that Rama Rupam comes and goes, there is arrival and departure. Krishna Rupam arrives and goes. Meaning to say, at the same time, you cannot have both. Whereas Vishwarupa Darshanam is such that it is existence even when all other Rupams are there. It includes everything else. That's why the word adjective Paramam is used. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sundar, for as usual, a unique style of explaining word by word, so that by looking at the word itself, you are able to unfold the meaning, and also to get all the deeper meaning, especially what Divya Chakshu means is not just to be able to see the world with the knowledge that this is Bhagwan, that is what is the cognitive change. And once you see it as Bhagwan, there is an attitudinal change, a certain reverence and a certain bhakti that automatically comes in. Thank you very much. We go to Kirti, verse number 10.
Gurubhyo Namaha. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Aneka Vaktra Nayanam, Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam, Aneka Divya Bharanam, Divyaneko Dhyatayudam. Translation is, in that cosmic form, Arjuna saw a vision of countless faces and eyes, decorated with celestial ornaments, wielding many kinds of divine weapons. Swami Chinmayananda, in an introduction to chapter 11, says, Sri Krishna wants Arjuna to see, recognize, and experience his vibhuti and yoga. He explains, to see one in many is bhakti yoga, to roll up the many and merge in it and discover its glory is called Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. In this verse, Sanjaya is seeing the cosmic universal form of Sri Krishna through the Divya Chakshu mind of Arjuna, who is wonderstruck by the magnificence of the total universe seen in one form and is expressing them in words to King Dhritarashtra. He describes the faces, eyes, ornaments, weapons of this form with the words Aneka, Adbhuta, and Divya. Swami Paramarthananda explains this verse in great detail. How do we understand the description of the Lord with many faces, many eyes, many hands? He begins by saying, do not imagine a form with countless faces, eyes, hands, bodies sticking all over. With the gift of Divya Chakshu from Sri Krishna and prior foundation of Sri Krishna's teachings, Arjuna learns to see Aneka Vaktra Nayanam, all the faces, eyes of people and beings, as the face eye of the Lord Sri Krishna in Vishwarupa form. There is no individual separate from the totality. There is no wave separate from the ocean. There is no Vyashti separate from the Samashti. Anekadbhuta Darshanam, all the innumerable wonders of creation, all of them are Bhagwan's. They belong to him. Aneka Divya Bharanam does not mean the Lord is wearing countless ornaments. All the ornaments all of us are wearing are Bhagwan's Abharanam. Divya Aneka Yudhyata Ayudham, all the countless weapons held in the raised hands of the Kaurava and Pandava armies, all belong to Ishvara. These raised weapons are divine weapons because they are meant for Dharma Samrakshanam. The moment a weapon is associated with Dharma, it is associated with Bhagavan. Such is the understanding of the vision of divine Vishwarupa given by Swami Param. The description I'm going to give now is nothing new, but it is in a proper sequence. But when it is in a proper sequence, it feels profound. We students of Vedanta are aware that the eightfold forms: earth, water, fire, air, sky, sun, moon, Jivatma, are an embodiment of Ishvara. If we can see the Vibhuti and Yoga, glory and manifestation of his lower form, say water, that is in and around us, we have a small glimpse of the Vishwarupa with our ordinary eyes and mind. Let us sail along with a drop of water since the time it was formed millions of years ago. They laid the foundation of the first forms of life in the clouds, rivers, oceans, land as unicellular and multicellular organisms, evolving into infinite higher forms of plants, animals, aquatic, aerial, and terrestrial species. Homo sapiens evolved about 200,000 years ago. This is the zoom out picture of the all-pervading, enlivening nature of water in various names and forms. Can you see the vibhuti and yoga of water in our human body, which contains 60 to 70% of water by weight? All the structural, physiological, mental functions depends on its participation. A million-year-old drop of water transformed to be a part of infinite forms since time began, may be flowing in your blood today. Can you see water in the faces of all living organisms and nature? Can you see water in the beauty and brilliance of the moon, comets, asteroids, rainbow, and minerals? Can you see water in the ornaments of plants, animals, birds, in their colorful flowers, fruits, fins, feathers, and skin? Can you see water in the weapons of living organisms, in the thorns of a plant, in the claws of a crab or a tiger, in the poison of a snake, in the sting of a scorpion? Can you see the life-sustaining nature of water in the nectar of a flower, in mother's milk? Can you see infinite forms happening because of water? Can you see the divinity of water in all of these? Can you see the thread and play of universal consciousness in water? Can you see the verse, Mai sarvam idam prottam sutre manigana iva, ringing true and clear and happening through water? Now let us, by simulation, zoom in all these infinite forms in one entity and reiterate in our minds that truth. Prapancha Darshanam is Ishva Darshanam in the form of Vishwarupa, as seen by Arjuna, as revealed by Sri Krishna. Let us understand the presence of the ingredients, the processes, the universal DNA, the products of the entire universe in this awesome Vishwarupa form. Thank you, sir, and thank you for the extra time for the water vision. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirti madam, for a nice poetic description, especially about water and seeing life forms. As you said, Swami Param has described, normally when we see Vishwarupa Ishvara, we see a huge figure with multiple heads and multiple faces. But he says you have to interpret it differently. You have to see that every face, every eye is Bhagwan. Today, Neeta made a collage of so many faces singing Upadesha Sara. Whenever you see the eyes of all the people, when you see the faces of all the people, learn to see Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshana. That is the sensitization that we need to get. That means every person is Ishvara manifest. Vikram, your time.
So, Madhuri Street.
I'm sorry, Madhuri. Yes, I know. Okay. Vikram has handed over to Madhuri.
Okay.
Madhuri, go ahead.
Divya Malan Baradharam, Divya Gandhanulepanam, Sarvascharam Mayam Devam, Anantam Vishwato Mukham. This is how Sanjaya is describing the Vishwarupa. Sanjaya is blessed to have this magnificent and spectacular vision of Vishwarupa Darshanam because of his total Sharanagati to the Lord, as he was being the eyes of a person who was born without vision. And so he's describing every aspect of this cosmic universal form to the king Dhritarashtra. Lord Krishna obliges Arjuna to reveal his universal form. So he blesses Arjuna with the Divya Chakshu, that is the eye of wisdom or understanding. When the mirror is covered with dust, it gives a hazy reflection. But when it is cleaned, you get to see a clear picture or reflection. So by blessing Arjuna with the Divya Chakshu or the spiritual eye, Bhagwan removed the obstacles for the appreciation of the world, the universe, as his divine form. This event brought in an attitudinal change and change in perception in Arjuna's vision, converting the most ordinary to extraordinary, from petty to lofty, from mundane to inspired, from the worldly to the divine. He watched with amazement and wonder his dear friend, his simple Sakha, with whom he smiled, laughed, and argued with, rise before his very eyes from the ground upwards into an immense glorious entity showing Arjuna his celestial forms by hundreds and thousands, various in kinds, in color, and in shape. The brilliance of Lord Krishna was revealed to Arjuna, helping him understand that he, the Lord, alone manifests in the form of the universe. That means the Lord manifests as everything and everywhere. Now coming to the verse 11 of the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it describes how and with what this beautiful form of Vishwarupa is adorned with. Divya Malyam Dharam. The Lord, in his cosmic form, has many divine garlands of flowers, chains of gold, silver, pearls, and gems, etc., around his neck, and they are also worn by the various gods and deities in the heavens. All of them are visible on him. He and all the celestial beings are wearing variety of dresses, apparels, and garments of various colors. This means all the dresses worn by all the beings also belong to Bhagwan. Divya Gandhanulepanam. Vishwarupa is also besmeared with lots of scents and perfumes. Different perfumes and pastes used by different deities and the celestial beings are all applied on the cosmic Lord. The divine fragrances of the heavens also emanates from the paste of musk, sandal, and vermilion, which are applied over the Lord's face, head, as well as all over his body. Sarvashcharyam Mayam. This divine cosmic form is so magnificent, attractive, richly colorful, and full of splendor. The Lord has manifested himself in infinite forms with variety of ornaments, weapons, garlands, clothes, perfumes, etc., adorning him. It was all wondrous, breathtaking, and a brilliant sight to behold. Anantam Vishwotamukham. Anantam is endless, whose limits cannot be seen at all. Limitless, both space-wise and time-wise. A verse in Purushottam says that this limitless verse occupies only an insignificant part of Vishwarupa. Then imagine what should be the size of this Bhagwan. Vishwatomukham, the Lord with innumerable faces forming a part of that unlimited cosmic body facing in all directions. Thus, Arjuna saw that the manifestations of Lord Krishna were distributed throughout the universe. Ishvara and the universe can never be different. The universe was the very embodiment of the Lord. Vishwarupa is all-inclusive and all-pervading. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you, Dr. Madhuri, for a nice poetic presentation. Here, this is Krishna's style. He is showing his glory. He is showing all nice things so that you will be captivated before he shows his forms also. Prakash, your time starts.
Yeah, good evening, doctor. my prostration to one and all. The vision of that to suffice. An ordinary eye, Laukika Chakshu and Alaukika Chakshu. Prepared, purified, matured, and a religious mind. And then when this conjoined together, Ishvara Darshanam is possible. In short, it is beyond worldly and non-worldly. Guru Kesha means Gunatita. The highest vision is to see the very universe as Lord Krishna. Tana mana dana sabu kuchakai tera. Like the secular thing becomes sacred only when it is associated with Lord, Vishvato Mukam, the Lord with faces in all directions. So the previous participants have spoken quite a lot about it, so I would like to emphasize. Coming to the verse.
Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavedyuga Paduttita Yadi Baha Sadrushi Sa Syat Basastasya Mahatmanaha.
Yadi Baha, if the brilliance, Surya Sahasraya of 1,000 suns, 1,000 suns, Utaha, were to rise up, Yugapat simultaneously, Divi in the sky, Sasatri, with that will be comparable, Sat Basha to the brilliance, Tasyat Mahatmanaha to the of the great Lord. If the brilliance of thousands of suns were to rise up simultaneously in the sky, that will be comparable. That will be comparable to the brilliance of the great Lord. Here, what they are trying to is visualize. These things are something that cannot be even imagined. What is explained in this particular type of verse? It is the vastness. It is the vastness, and we have to visualize the universe as how it is something we can't even imagine. So what should be the brilliance of the Lord? It should be glaring brilliance, because I am not able to see the sun itself in the morning. I am not able to look at even the sun at 9, which is 9 crore miles away. And it takes only 8 minutes or so for us to reach the earth. But what is it? What is the wonderment? There are so many other, this is just an ordinary star. There are so many stars like this. There are so many stars which are innumerable. And we can't even imagine that it takes 8 minutes for 9 crore miles to come across. How is it possible? This is a wonderment. And before Sanjaya gives an example, suppose thousands of suns arise in the horizon simultaneously. Surya's Sahasraya Baha. Surya's Sahasranam means thousands of suns. Baha means brilliance. Suppose the brilliance of thousands of suns, Uttishta, has risen, has emerged in the sky simultaneously. This is the example which is supposed to have been given by one atomic scientist when the atom bomb exploded. So the brilliance of that explosion, that two ordinary atom bombs, special ones were not there. And the explosion took place. The brilliance was indescribable. That one of these people quoted that it seems that when we cannot imagine even the brilliance of one atom bomb explosion, and see what can we imagine the brilliance of atom bombs explosions. And we know every star is having thousands of atom bombs explosions every moment. This is how energy is produced. Imagine all of them appear. How do they have this? How they appear now? How now we do not have how the stars produce energy, because they are safe and far away. Imagine they all come close. What happened? What happens? Something imaginable. Yugapat simultaneously. Suppose they emerge. What will be the brilliance? This is the comparison of the brilliance of Vishwarupa Ishvara. Tasyat Mahatmanaha Basya Sadrasi Syata. So that will be the brilliance, that will be the comparisons of the brilliance of the Mahatma. Mahatma here means Vishwarupa Ishvara. So Maha Ananta Sariram Vyasa Mahatma. This place, Atma does not mean Sachitananda Atma. It means Sariram. Mahatma means infinite body is the Lord. So that is the brilliance that is indescribable. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. This is a very often quoted verse because of the rise of the thousand suns was compared when the atom bomb was exploded by a nuclear scientist who was also very much into Vedanta. I'm not able to pronounce his name. We could-
Robert Oppenheimer.
Your voice is
Oppenheimer.
correct. That's right. Rekha, your time starts.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, chapter 11, verse 13. Tatraikastham Jagad Kritsnam Pravibhaktam Anekadha Apashyat Deva Devasya Sharire Pandavas Tada. To place the words in their proper order to explain better, Tatra Sharire, there in the body, Deva Devasya, of the Lord of Lords, Pandava Apashyat, Arjuna saw, Tada, at that time, Kritsnam Jagat, the entire universe, Anekada Pravibhaktam, with its manifold divisions, Ekastham, placed together. There, in the body of the Lord of Lords, Arjuna saw, at that time, the entire universe with its manifold divisions placed together. Now, this verse is very, very similar to all the previous verses, which have been described very beautifully by other friends just now. So just to go back, who is describing this great phenomenon? It is Sanjaya. And we remember that he can not only see what is happening, but he can also read the minds of the characters he describes by the grace of Vyasa to the blind Dhritarashtra. And the characters in this verse are Arjuna, who is referred to as Pandava here, and Krishna is referred to as Deva Devasya, Lord of Lords. And where is this happening? So Tatra can also mean it is happening there. That is, Arjuna is sitting. He's in one place. He's not moving around. He is in the chariot on the battlefield with Krishna. And what does he see? Sitting there, he sees the entire universe, Kritsnam Jagat, residing in the Shariram or body of the Lord. And what is described in this verse is that the entire universe is seen in one place, but in its divided forms. That is Anekada Prati Bhaktam. That is, even the galaxies, the stars, the planets, the continents, land, water, etc. They're all divided, but this is together. And this is the most unusual and fantastic sight which one would never ever see sitting in one place. And another meaning, where does he see this? Tatra, again, this he sees it in the body of the Lord. And the body of the Lord cannot be taken to be the usual 5 or 6 feet tall, the physical body of a man. But the Shariram is actually represented by the vast Akasham of space. So it's really huge. Now, how is this even possible? And then we come back to what has already been described, Divya Chakshu. So till now, Arjuna saw Krishna as his friend in the form of a man. But something has changed, and that has happened at that particular time. The word tada, which is used here, at that time, Krishna, by his grace, blesses Arjuna by giving him Divya Chakshu, the divine vision. And this is because at that point, Arjuna possesses both the pure mind and the enlightened intellect, which is needed to have that divine vision. So what happened then was there is a transformation or a change of perspective. And the same universe that Arjuna had seen earlier, Vishwa Darshanam, suddenly becomes Vishwarupa Ishwar Darshanam. And he sees everything around him as Ishvara. And we know already from the Puranas that Yashoda had also had this vision when she made the little boy Krishna, who said he was eating mud. And she says, I want to see what you have in your mouth. And she makes him open his mouth and she can see the whole universe there. And now, apart from Arjuna, actually Sanjaya can also see this because he has that vision. So he can see what Arjuna saw, and which is why he's able to describe it. Now, what can we learn from this vision that is described so beautifully in all the previous verses and in this verse? As Swami Param says, and my understanding is that if we want ourselves a similar transformative experience, we need to change our own attitude. First, by cultivating a pure mind, free of raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, ahankara, mamakara, etc., combined with knowledge that all creation is merely the manifestation of the Lord. So we need bhakti and we need God's grace. And we might also one day attain insight and see the world as Ishvara. And that would be the most wonderful, life-changing experience of all. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you, Rekha. Very nice. Hopeful for that day. Can it be much earlier than what we visualize? We already see two people, as you have explained, who have got Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshana. Lord Krishna has blessed Arjuna to be able to see this whole world as the body of the Lord. Vyasacharya has also blessed Sanjaya not only to be able to see the whole world as God, but also to go one step further to see what is happening in the minds of the other characters like Arjuna. Now, the whole process of our understanding, as each one presents, is to sensitize ourselves to be able to see this whole world as God. You left us with a hope, and let that hope be that from the time we wake up in the morning, we feel Goddess Lakshmi as the Bhumi, and then become very sensitive to all the devatas that manifest this whole world, and to be so sensitive to feel this whole world has nothing but God. I will leave you with a question. This question we can answer once we all unmute, once the program is formally closed. In the school of Vishishta Dvaita, this whole world is also seen as God. In the school of Advaita Vedanta, also we see this whole world of God. Is there some difference in the way these two schools see? Why I'm saying this is because it will, the rest of the Ishvara, Vishwarupa Ishvara chapter will have a slight change in the significance. Otherwise, it is all one and the same. With these thoughts, I will formally conclude with a sincere thanks to each one of you who have taken part, to all the speakers who made a nice presentation. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you.